everybody. Thank you for having me today. It's a pleasure to be a part of TEDx at IIM Shillong. Some rules are meant to be broken, especially as it relates to hiring and assessing talent. When looking to hire talent, companies oftentimes focus on finding employees who fit a certain box and meet specific criteria such as educational background, experience, or the famous one which is fitting into a company's culture. Now, talent war is a phrase that we have all heard so often for so many years. There's so many young people who are entering the workforce today, and yet we continue to say that there is a talent shortage. I think it's about time we think differently and let go of some very long-standing practices when it comes to hiring. At Freshworks, we think outside of the box. We hire to add to our culture, not just to fit our culture. In our Freshworks Kudumba, which is the Tamil word for family, as we like to call our team, you'll find an amazing number of really talented and passionate individuals. People who've been hired because of their energy, their eagerness to learn and grow, and as well as their drive to perform well for the company as well as for themselves. We believe that if you truly enjoy what you do, that's when you can create magic. So, what is that secret sauce? While serendipitous hiring can occur, finding bona fide experts in a certain area who also happen to be passionate about what they do, it's like finding a needle in a haystack. It's not always the case. That's why we say that sometimes you need to find a role that matches an employee's talent rather than an employee's experience. We believe that there are no bad hires. There are only bad fitment. And this is where breaking the rules actually comes in. As a growing organization, we face the challenge of finding the balance between breaking the rules versus when it comes to hiring for actual experience and functional expertise. It's one thing to do it for an organization which is, say, 200 employees, but quite another when you have 4,000 plus people. So the question is, how do we preserve this as we grow from our former state as a startup to a now public company? How do we continue to hire curious, passionate, and driven employees and find the right role for them while continuing to be functional? How do we instill order amongst this chaos? I'm not quite sure what the clear-cut answer is, but I know that it is possible, and I will tell you why. Because we've been breaking the rules, of course within limits, since the beginning of Freshworks, and we continue to do so as we continue to grow as a company. Our CEO Girish has been known to think differently when it comes to hiring individuals. He has a very keen sense of when a person can add value to our organization, even if the skill match to a particular role is not quite there. Often he finds the person even before a role exists. I think the secret to that lies in what you are looking for in an interview. Oftentimes we're looking for what we believe are right answers to the questions we ask when we interview somebody. Instead, if we focus our conversation on understanding the individual, what drives him or her, how they work, what makes them tick, you'll have a much better chance of finding that fit with your company instead of simply finding a knowledgeable individual. Let me tell you a story. Take the story of Srinivas, for example. When our CEO Girish was getting Freshworks off the ground, he was living in an apartment complex in Chennai. And Srinivas managed the apartment complex facility and the maintenance of it. Girish and the residents in that complex were always forever grateful to Srinivas for the work he did and with the kind of dedication and integrity with which he performed his role. And they were all very sad when Srinivas chose to, move away from their apartment complex and go work somewhere else. Growing our roots in Chennai instead of a big tech city like Bangalore, for instance, meant that many of our employees traveled to work and restaurants were not easily accessible around our workplace. So Girish decided to bring the meals, snacks, and other needs inside our facility. This was a huge undertaking that required strong management capability, integrity, and trustworthiness, as the role involved many moving parts, including managing inventory, supplies, quality, and so on. So Girish called upon Srinivas to take that job. Srinivas had never really managed corporate facilities and he wasn't really sure if he could do it. However, what Srinivas brought was his tenacity and integrity to the role. In short, he actually cared. So Srinivas would arrive 30 minutes before each meal to run a quality control check on the food to make sure it was fresh, it was hot, it had the right ingredients, it was the right temperature. In the rare event that an employee expressed dissatisfaction, Srinivas would personally take it upon himself to make sure that the issue was fixed, and he would go back to the employee to let them know that it was taken care of. Today, Srinivas oversees our entire F&B portfolio and manages some of our key administrative roles such as sourcing workplace infrastructure, etc. I'm delighted to share that even today, after 7 years, he continues to be one of our most passionate employees. Somebody who would have never dreamt of a career in a corporate world and yet today is one of our most successful employees. Over the course of my time at Freshworks, I have learned that every once in a while, special moments like these reinforce your belief in the company values. And while that certainly shines through in our story about Srinivas, I want to tell you another story, which is that of this bright young girl called Anna. Anna joined Freshworks in 2012. She was hired fresh out of college as a part of an off-campus university drive that we did, and she joined our marketing team. In her interview, she was obviously smart, had stellar communication skills, and of course was driven by passion to do well in her career. While she started off in marketing, she quickly found that it really wasn't the right fit nor the right time in her career to take on the role, as she really struggled to find something that she loved doing. Now, we're committed to finding our most passionate employees the right role. Like I said, there are no wrong hires, there's only wrong fitment. So we sat down with Anna, rather Girish sat down with Anna to really understand what makes her tick. Ultimately, she joined the customer support team and found her true calling, which is talking to customers. She won the love of our customers because she owned their problems, coordinated with the developers to find resolutions, kept customers appraised of the actions being taken to resolve their issues. She became a customer's advocate from within the company. She grew so much in her role that she earned the Customer Success Hero Award at the CS Summit in 2014. Now, Anna has experienced what we call a full circle in her career at Freshworks. Her passion for customers and conversations with them and finding the right fit within the company has led her back to a marketing role, as she originally intended to when she joined the company. Today, she leads what we call as customer marketing. Her experience really shows that hiring a passionate individual and giving them the opportunity to find the right role can pay off for them in terms of success and achievement. And of course, the company just earns so much more than just a competent individual. The final story that I want to share is that of an individual named Prasanna. Prasanna joined a corporate social responsibility team, or the social impact team as we call it, after spending her first few years at Freshworks in the pre-sales. Moving from pre-sales to social impact was quite the jump, but Prasanna had the drive and the determination. She said that, she believes that certain moments of impact shape our lives, and it's moments like these in her life that have helped her define the direction and experience while bringing her heart closer to the values of our organization. You see, Prasanna once faced a life-threatening illness that made her take a leave of absence from her work. But thankfully, she persevered and rejoined Freshworks. Since then, she's always been drawn to giving back and helping others, and it was when she was volunteering at a school with HIV positive students that something just clicked. She noticed that students worked diligently and didn't spend much time relaxing. When she questioned the warden about this, he explained that the students worked hard because they hoped that one day they would see a cure for their disease and will take everything they had learned to live long, fulfilling, successful lives. This was the moment that Prasanna knew that her purpose was really in the social impact team, and she joined the Freshworks CSR team. She did so just as we were experiencing the second wave of the COVID pandemic, and her teammates were out recovering from COVID, and she learned how so many employees and their families had been impacted by this as well. So very quickly, Prasanna put together a task force to help secure the resources that people needed, and she and her team were fully engaged in helping all our employees, their families, and the community at large as well. Today, she remains one of the most passionate employees dedicated to making a difference within our organization, as well as in the communities that our employees live in. It's stories like these that make our Freshworks Kudumba unique and diverse. They are what make breaking the rules so easy when you find what makes them tick, when you find passionate people possible. Because passionate employees are empowered and driven to do what they love. Breaking the rules for employees like that pays off many, many times over. In closing, here's what I would like to leave you all with. Talent is everywhere. Let's not gauge talent narrowly as just knowledge or capability. It's far more than that. It's about finding what you are inherently good at. It's finding what you enjoy doing and what drives you. Everything else you can teach or you can learn. So let's break some rules and win this war on talent. And to all of you setting out in your career ahead, here's what I would say. Seek your passion and find your purpose. Wish you all the very best. Thank you.